Well, that sunrise I just showed was this morning. Look at it up there. There's a lot of rock showing. That snow is melting fast. Anyway, when that first turned on the camera there, clear and blue sky. There's a little bit of it up there still. But mostly the clouds have rolled in. It's looking and feeling like rain. Looking on the weather report, it was supposed to be sunny and blue and actually hot today, but now they've changed it. It says there's chance of rain showers and things. So, I don't know. It's a little cooler. Got my jacket on today, but that's okay. That high heat in March, I mean 80 degrees for here is really not that normal. It does it every now and then, but that's pretty early to be 80 degrees. That snow, like I said, it's melting fast. We kind of need that. I don't think there's any two ways about it. We're going to have forest fires this summer, and probably a lot of them. I hope not. Anyway, just going through a bunch of this trapping junk. A lot of it can go straight to the junkyard, or the garbage, I mean, but I'm kind of going through and sorting through the best of it, and the rest is going to stay right here in the trailer and be added to and taken to the dump. Some of this stuff been in here a very long time. These things, have that powder, like sand in them. Where did I just see that? There it is. Made in Taiwan for Kmart Corporation. How long ago did Kmart go out of business? I just opened one. Yeah, nothing. Funny how that stuff goes bad. I don't know what's inside of these. It's chemicals of some sort, but they don't last forever, even packaged up. I don't think any of these are any good. Like I say, a lot of this stuff just needs to go to the dump. I haven't gone through it, haven't even needed it for years, and if it's not something I use very often, it's going away. One thing about it being warmer, didn't use up all my firewood. I've still got 2 rows up there, which I think is, if I remember right, is a cord. I can't remember. I think that each row is a half a cord. Anyway, I got 1 cord there. Probably got 2 cords left, which isn't a huge amount, but it's a good start on next year. We've had a fire on and off when it kind of gets to be a little bit worse day, but mostly we haven't had a fire now for 4 or 5 days. I don't know. So anyway, look at here. I gotta show you this. This is looking a little frightening. Western heat waves shattered March records to expand with more extremes. Record-breaking heat across the western U.S. will intensify and expand eastward, bringing temperatures 15 to 30 degrees above normal. That's quite a bit. Increasing health risks, accelerating high country snowmelt, and raising forest fire danger. So a few days ago, 80 degrees. Okay, a few days ago, this is what the snow depth was. That's 6 feet when it gets to the bottom of the 7 there, up on top of Lost Trail. This was today. Today it is little less than 4 feet, 4 and maybe 8 inches, 9 inches, 7 inches, somewhere in there. That's on top of Lost Trail. This ain't right, luckily. Sent this to Hillbilly. But that was in the sun. Gotta move that one. So this is a kind of a funny deal. This is in Challis, Idaho. Challis is one of our next closest towns. It's probably 40, maybe 50 miles away, more or less. I'm not positive how far it is. But anyway, Chalice, Idaho. Police say a man and a woman been arguing and drinking together. The man apparently handed Diane Weatherby a pistol and told her to shoot him. So she did, and then went to bed. You know, that ain't funny. I don't know if the guy survived that or not, but it kind of is. I mean, she just did what he asked. What is the current percentage of annual snowfall in the Salmon, Idaho area?
Here are some results from a search.
Come on. As of late March 2026, Salmon, Idaho is entering the end of its snowy season, and the snowy period typically concludes by March 11th, while the immediate town sees low snowfall averaging 23 to 25 inches annually. Regional snowpack in the nearby high country mountains of the Lemhi Range Middle Fork is generally tracked by snowtail. Okay, that's not telling me nothing. I'll try this a little different here. Currently, how are we looking for annual snowpack in the Salmon, Idaho area?
These are the top results.
As of late March 2026, Idaho, including the Salmon area, is experiencing a severe wet snow drought with record low snowpack below 6,000 to 7,000 feet due to high temperatures, while upper elevation snow is closer to normal. Statewide snow water equivalent is roughly 60 to 73% of normal, causing severe shortages for irrigation and water supply. That's not really good. Like I said, I don't see how there's any possible way that we're going to avoid forest fires and a lot of smoke this summer. If you need firewood, I'd get it soon, because, I mean, if it gets too hot and dry, they won't let you in the woods. Our drinking water well, it did come back up, and we haven't had any more problems, but it's not very deep, and I don't know, a little bit worried about what's going to happen this summer if, not enough is filtering down through the rocks and refilling that. But I guess we'll find out. There's several different things we can do. We could drill it deeper, which is very expensive. $110 a foot, they said, which is, I guess, in some areas a lot more than that. But the problem is they're telling us they don't like to dig into an existing well. We'd have to start at ground level instead of what we got now, which, like I say, ain't very deep. But anyway, that's one option. The other option we're looking into is a water storage tank that basically you have two pumps. It's on a box that's regulated to turn on for 40 seconds and then turn off for half an hour, 28 minutes. And then turns on again for 40 seconds and then off for half an hour. And that over time, throughout the day when you're not using it much and throughout the night when you're sleeping, it'll fill up a storage tank. And then you pump out of that storage tank for your daily water. And the one we looked at, it's only 210 gallons, which really isn't that much. They say they figure 100 gallons per person, and I know I don't use 100 gallons in a day. I mean, I take a shower, and not every single day either, but I take a shower once a month and flushing toilets and drinking water and stuff. There's no way I use 100 gallons. And we got some trees and things that need water, so that That would be maybe a little skimpy for the trees. We don't really have any grass in the yard, just spotty stuff. But I don't know, 200 gallons, 210 gallons a day, probably enough, but it would be still having to be kind of careful with it. But then as you're using it too, it still fills up for 40 seconds, and turns off again throughout the day. And so if you're, you take a break for lunch or whatever from watering the trees, it'll fill up a couple of times in that hour and that kind of thing. So I don't know, it might be enough. There's bigger storage tanks you can get too. That one, like I say, is only 210 gallons, but a 500 gallon tank is really not that much more money, and we might end up going with that. But if we do that, I mean, we live in Idaho. This winter was pretty mild. I don't think it got below zero at all in our area. Other years, it can get 20 below or even 30 below, and that's going to freeze. So in order for this to work, I'd have to build onto our pump house and insulate it good, and I don't know. Any way you look at it, it's going to be a little bit of money, quite a little bit of money. But I think we need to do something. The other bad thing with that is that even on a slow fill, our water isn't very deep. And what happens if the well goes completely dry? Then all that money is kind of out the window. They said that this system will work in as little as a 1/4 gallon per minute well, which is nothing. I mean, we got more than that, so at least we do right now. And like I say, this is looking like a drier than normal year, but sooner or later it might be the new normal. It's hard to say. Anyway, get back to unloading this stuff and sorting through it, and go get some more junk and do fairground stuff today. None of it's very exciting, folks, and kind of that time of year, I'm afraid. See you tomorrow. Bye.